Okay, hi everybody, welcome if you're new here, or welcome back if you've been here before and you're coming back to enjoy the show. Thank you very much for that, and tell your friends, family, do the like, the subscribe, the ring the notifications, do all of that stuff too, because the more this gets out, the more it helps everybody else. Anyway, I'm gonna read the fortune and then tell you what I got going on for today. So today's fortune says, my bookmark here. It's a receipt. I need a better bookmark, something more mechanical oriented. Anyway, without knowing the force of words, it is impossible to know men. Without knowing the force of words, it is impossible to know men. Ooh, I gotta let that one soak in. You take it for what you will, but I'm not, these are coming out. I read them in order, just so you know. The last one I read says one should count each day a separate life. And then right under that, without knowing, so it's not like I'm, picking and choosing which ones to read. They come in order. So, but yeah, we'll contemplate on that. Anyway, yesterday we went up to see the family in West Virginia. And the Subaru that my daughter drives mostly is a 2014 Forester. They also have a 2021 Crosstrek. But her Subaru had the lights, the downhill assist light, I believe it is, the trans temp light. I don't know, all the lights that happen when you have these solenoid issues. So as such, I knew she had a solenoid issue. And when I went to my happy place a couple of weeks ago, I picked up a couple of valve bodies, and I brought them home, tested them. I replaced a couple of the solenoids so that they were fresh, so they all tested out fine. I put one in Sharon's Subaru, which, knock on wood, has been driving and running fine, a lot smoother actually, and it's the learning process is in place. And like I said, on Sharon's Subaru, I think we're within 300 miles of that 300,000 mile range. It is due for an oil change, and I'll get that done. But so I went up and brought the extra valve body and swapped out my daughter's valve body. While I was there, her neighbor up the hill, right at the house you can see right up across the street, has a 2017 Forester. And guess what? Yeah, she has the lights too. But she has some mechanic that, I don't know. But he ended up changing her catalytic converter, doing some other maintenance. She showed me some paperwork. It had the P0700 transmission code. Something about torque converter. I don't know if it was the lockup solenoid. I don't really know. I didn't really read her paperwork. But she said when she finished and she picked up the car, the lights came right back on. And I wasn't surprised. I told her I wasn't surprised. I said, he fixed a problem that probably didn't exist. I don't know. But her lights came on. So I went up with my my meter, and she's got, I think 2 of her solenoids are bad. I know the one specific, but I didn't have my diagram with me, so I really couldn't tell what the specs was supposed to be on the one. I know the lockup solenoid specs, and I know which pin is the lockup pin. I pulled off her air intake air and got to the pin right on top of the transmission, and yeah, it was out of limits. So I already knew she's got the issue. And I have an extra solenoid. I have an extra gasket set right in here. I was keeping it for spares for us, but if I have to, I told her that I would be more than happy to come back up one day and change it out for her. But she's going to talk to her mechanic guy, because she paid a couple of grand for some other things. She bought new tires as well. But yeah, so hopefully they'll get hers fixed. If not, I'll be here as a backup. Anyway, so that's what you're about to see. The video of me changing my daughter's CVT valve body. I brought her old one back. I will dissect it, not dissect it, but I'll take the old solenoids off and test them out again, make sure they're all within limits, or if they're not, I'll order new replacement and I'll mark hers and I'll put it on the shelf somewhere back in here. And I've got an old cooler, cooler that's not, we don't use it for sodas or anything, but I'll put both Sharon's valve body in that cooler, wrapped up in plastic, and her valve body wrapped up in plastic, and they should be fine. Anyway, so enjoy the video. I tried, it took a total of about 3 hours for me to do my daughter's, because my daughter had some company at the house, so I kept stopping and talking, which I tend to do, as you know, but I'm doing it now. But but it took me it would take maybe a 2 to 3 hour job, just depends. But anyway, so enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. Some of you will know this car, some of you may not, but this is a 2014 Subaru Forester, just like our 2014 Subaru Forester. But this one belongs to our daughter, son-in-law. They also have a 2021 Crosstrek Sport, I think, but he's at work. So, but what we have here is the valve body that I did on our car. She's got the same lights, the same issues, and also, unfortunately, her neighbor right up the hill here. Let's just go up and look. The Subaru right there. Same issue. Oh, no, you're good. Same issue. So it's the dreaded valve body. So I'm going to change this one out. Right now it's 11:30, thereabouts. And I've already got a pre-tested throttle body, or not throttle body. I always say throttle body. Valve body for the transmission. So I'm just going to pull her old one out, sit it on the ground or sit it on the side, put the new one in, and then I'll do the flush, the CVT fluid flush, and then I'll do the Re-learn procedure and be done. So I'm going to get started, and you guys don't need to see everything, but we'll see what you see. And just so you know, I brought all of my own tools. I got my air compressor over there to blow out, get the dirt out of there. I brought my own catch can and whatever. Then some various tools and my jack and things like that. So let's get ready to get started. Okay, looking in, I've got the cover off. The heat shield thing is funky, whatever. Got that off. I've got everything disconnected wire-wise, so I can tuck this down back here somewhere. Get it out of the way. We'll put it over here on the side. Get that out of the way. This one stays attached to the cover. Cover is dirty. I did hit it with some penetrating oil here and here where the pins are. What I'm going to do now is spray the whole thing with some brake clean, and I brought my air compressor and I'm going to blow it off all nice and clean, and to try to keep this area somewhat clean. Okay, I've come to the section. It's a little bit, it could be tough for some. Drop all the tools. I've got, my glove getting stuck. Here we go. I've got like 3 different pry tools. A small pry bar, a small bent screwdriver that I bent doing something else. Bent my bent screwdriver, small pry bar, and I have like the body pin tool that you take the push pin tools out. And I've got like a little baby hammer that you would get like in a household tool kit. And what I do is put these on the side. I've already sprayed the dowel pins with penetrating oil when I first uncovered it. So now you just keep tapping. And the sound actually changes as soon as it starts to break. There's only a little bit of RTV back here where the case comes together on this side and on this side opposite. Now, once I've tapped it, I put these screws back, if you noticed. This one is for the cover, the heat shield. This one is for the, what do you call that? The ground wire. The ground wire that was on here. Make sure you put the ground wire back. This one and the other one over here. Because if you don't, none of the repairs will work. Anyway, so now I kind of get a couple of wiggles. I can feel it coming up. And you just kind of work it and wiggle it. There we go. See, I got half of it up. So half of it came up. Now what you can do is with that half, you kind of wiggle left and right. Or driver, passenger, left and right, up and down. I'm trying not to put my pry bar underneath the lid if I can help it. So if I can pry it up, it just takes patience. And when you run out of patience, that's when you use your pry a little bit. And for this pry, I'm going to use this. It's very gentle. Let's see if that did it. Oh. Got my fingers under it. I'm applying up pressure with this at the same time I'm wiggling with the other hand. And it's slowly getting there. There we go, see? She made it. So you pull the lid, and under the lid, there we go. There's the connector. I'll use a screwdriver here just to push down on the connector. There we go. And this is the valve body and gasket. One of the dowel pins stayed in place. The other one came out on the cover. No big deal. I'm going to leave them as they are. I'm going to pull this gasket, which is the old one. Oh, there we go. Okay. There's the old gasket. Throw that over to the side. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black bolts and one above and one below, the 3 that's in a row. Those are the 2 silver ones we have to remove. And then after that, this valve body can be just picked up and taken out. You're gonna have to be careful because there's a lot of CVT fluid, transmission fluid in the valve body itself. So it's gonna drip. And right now I'm over my daughter's concrete floor and I don't wanna drip. I'm gonna get a blanket and a plastic bag and go from there. Loosen these bolts. But right now, I'm gonna cover it. No, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and then I'll cover that. So I need 10 millimeters. Okay, just breaking loose. And the other 2. And now it's just a matter of picking it straight up and having it out. But I'm gonna let it sit here and drain for about 5 or 7 minutes or whatever. See if I can rotate it, different angles, let it drain. Have to go. There's 2 O-rings. It's supposed to be one here and one here. This one is missing, so I'm going to verify that it's either on the bottom of. It's not in the hole. So I'm going to go verify where it is. Make sure it's on the bottom of the throttle body. Yep. All right. I cleaned off the mating surfaces on that side and on the cap here. What I got to do is put my 2 O-rings. I have 2 brand new O-rings here. I'm going to dip them in the CVT fluid and put them in place. One there. And dip the other one in some fluid. There. Okay, that's good enough. Clean my hands a little bit. And let's get the Jimmy rebuilt throttle body in place. comes the gasket with the RTV already kind of dabbed in place. I put a little bit too much. I'm going to wipe it off once I get it in place. Very important to remember to plug this in before you put the bolts on. Make sure you plug in your plug. Nice click. Positive plug. Both dowel pins in place. I take the back of my hammer, the soft part, and just she's down. Put the bolts in place, just by hand starting them. The ones in the back, you got to use the old two-hand, two-finger deal. Just helps them get started, gets in there better. You don't want to drop them at this point. But with any luck, if you do drop it, it'll go all the way to the ground. Unless you drop it in between they have another heat shield back there. Then your guess is as good as mine as to where it goes. Okay. Now there's just I tighten these or torque them in star pattern. I need it shorter. I've got the cap on, the top on. Now it comes time to put everything back in place where it's supposed to go. This I did was underneath, and it goes to the dog bone bracket. This goes here, this goes up here. I didn't really show reassembly, but it's just a matter of putting the brackets, the dog bone, make sure you plug everything, make sure you put your 2 grounds, and then your air box. This is one of the few that I've ever seen that still had the screw here. So that's in place. And so now I'm gonna jack it up and get ready to flush out the fluid. I started it. There was no lights on the dashboard at all. I didn't move the car, but before when I just started it, there were lights. So there's no lights. Wait, who's that, Riley? My grandson's peeking around the corner, but he doesn't want to be in the video. Anyway, let me jack it up and put it on jack stands. Okay, I got the car up on all 4 jack stands. She's very solid. Wiggled it, shake it. She's not falling. The tires are not coming off, so, you know, emergency wise, no problems. Now it's just a matter of drain and fill. Again, the most important thing, make sure you open your fill valve first, your fill bolt first. Because if you can't fill it, you better not drain it. Anyway, so I'm gonna do that, crack open my fill. I believe the fill on this is an 8mm hex. And then the drain is, I think, a 14mm, but I'll verify that and it'll be down in the scroll. It's too close quarters under there to see, but we'll you know, you get it. I forgot, this is a Forester. I have to take off this piece of plastic here in order to get access to the side of the transmission. And it's, I believe they're 13mm bolts. There's 5 of them. And then you have 2 push pin type things. So let me get that out of the way. I forgot. Okay, under the transmission, right by this plug, this is your drain, or your fill, I'm sorry. And of course your drain is on the bottom of the pan here. So I'm gonna go get my drain bucket or my drain can and put it here. And I've already broke loose this. It's an 8mm hex, H-E-X, hex, so you can see it turns. I don't have my catch can here, so I don't want to take it out yet, just in case it's overfill. I can see some around the edge right now, but there's your drain plug. And when you put your drain plug back, they suggest a brand new crush washer, and it's the same crush washer as your oil change. So in Sharon's Subaru, which is out there, right there, I have a pack of crush washers, so I didn't have to order any or anything like that. So anyway, I'm gonna get my catch can and go ahead and drain this down. Okay, I've had the car running for about 15-20 minutes, and it's time to do excuse me. It's time to do the transmission learn. I'm using my, not sponsored, but it's a Topdon Artidiag Pro. And so I'm gonna go here to AT learning mode. Turn off headlights, air conditioner, rear defogger, any switches that lead to electric load. So the radio's off. I turned off the mirror and what do you call that? The directional thing on the mirror tells you east, west, north, south, all that. Okay, so I say okay. Lift up the vehicle and put the parking brake on. You saw it was already lifted up. Okay. Turn off the ignition switch. I turned off the ignition switch. Start engine, turn off eyesight. She doesn't have eyesight. Started the engine, turn all of this off. Fully depressed brake pedal. Once engine speed stabilizes, start the engine, select D. I'm in D. On the dash, I'm having my oil temp light. It just went solid. Learning process. Select R. Always keeping your foot on the brake all the way down as much as possible. Okay. Select neutral. Turn off ignition switch. Start engine, turn off eyesight if equipped. AT, automatic transmission. Learning normally ended. So that's it. We're good to go. Say okay, and we're good. And if you look at the dashboard, she has no lights except the brake light, which, okay, I got the parking brake on, and the airbag light, because I don't have my airbag, not the airbag, the driver's side seatbelt light, so I don't have my seatbelt on. So everything ended normally. She's good. She's no lights. It's in neutral. I'm putting it in park. I can shut it off. I'll tighten up my bolts, put the plastic piece back underneath the car with the 5 12mm bolts and 2 push pins. Close the hood, take it off the rack, and go for a spin. Okay, I guess I'm gonna call that another successful valve body transmission, the TR580. I cleared all the codes, it relearned itself and everything. Took it for a long, about 10-minute test drive. I really don't know how much what it improved, because I don't really drive this car that often, but she'll tell me, my daughter will tell me. But yeah, there's no codes. Everything was cleared out, green. Did a diagnostic scan again. So yeah, so everything is good. And we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna write down the mileage and the date. I don't keep notes on her car like I do on our car, but I am gonna put that just for my peace of mind, so that I know when I changed it and everything. And the fluid change as well. And if her mechanic later asks, I'll have that information. Okay, so now it's just put up all my tools, my jack stands, air compressor, and get all of my stuff straight. I do have to reset her clock because I did disconnect the negative battery terminal. But other than that, we're good to go. So having said that, I hope you find this interesting. I hope that if you have this issue with all of these different codes, P700, 27, whatever these codes are, and they're telling you a new transmission, get a second opinion. If they're telling you valve body, but you just can't fork out that $1,000, see about getting the solenoid changed. Dorman makes decent solenoids. We'll see how long it lasts, but like I said, if this one lasts 100,000 miles, I'll come back and do this again. Her neighbor right across the road there is having the same issue, and they did some work that was probably not necessary. I went and tested her car, and I think she had either 1 or 2 solenoids were bad on her car. And I offered, and we'll see what the future holds for that 2017 Forester. But I'd like to see her car fixed. So anyway, all right, that's it for now. I didn't want to divulge too much information, but that's it for now. Thank y'all for watching, and have fun with your minis, and even when you got to do the Subaru stuff too. So hopefully both of these will be good for the next 150, 200,000 miles. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see where it takes us. All right. Bye, y'all.